AI has been around for a while and it's already changed the world and it's absolutely here to stay. In the past, when new technology came on the scene, it brings both risk and opportunity. I have personally profited from many life-changing events, and I'm going to share my plan with you to make even more money in the future. It's not new for the world to evolve, but is it going to be different this time? I plan to take advantage of any mispricing in the market as any investor would. Let's dive right in. So before we get fully into AI and how it's changing the world, let's remember that the world relatively is very young. The US is only 250 years old, and we've had so many life-changing inventions that have occurred in the last 150 years. We have radio, we have cars, we have motorcycles, we have TVs, we have airplanes, we have computers, we have calculators, we have internet, we have our electric vehicles, everything you can possibly imagine, the .com, cell phone, crypto, NFTs. These have all absolutely come in and changed the way in which we work, changed the way in which we live. And they've all had positives and negatives. AI just continues to evolve and spawn creativity. I got a clip of a music video to play for you that was generated completely by AI. This song is guaranteed to get stuck in your head.
Well, out in the holler beneath the southern sun was a boy named Harry, he's a special one. Born to the Potters, but they done got zapped. Now he's living in a trailer with the Dursley pack. Aunt Petunia's his cousin, Uncle Vernon's his bro, and that Dudley boy, well, he's his kin, y'all know. He's a wand-waving, spell-casting good old boy. Riding broomsticks ain't no toy. Down in the holler, magic runs free, but you best not mess with that old Snape creep. Y'all know Harry, he's a redneck wizard. Got that southern drawl, but he ain't no quitter.
That is insane. All that from simply typing in a prompt on a computer. AI is already such a powerful tool, it's crazy to think where it might be in 5 to 10 years' time. But, I hear people talking about how scary artificial intelligence is. And I'll be honest with you, it can be a little scary. Watch this.
Eso podría estar bien para el comercio minorista, pero hay muchas marcas de verificación aquí. Das könnte im Einzelhandel in Ordnung sein, aber hier gibt es viele Haken. Und Leute, ça pourrait aller pour le commerce de détail, mais il y a beaucoup de cases cochées ici. 这对零售来说可能唤醒，但有很多检查标记。
AI technology is incredible. You just heard me talk in Spanish, German, French, and Mandarin. The best part is that this isn't even my real voice talking with you right now. It's crazy to think this technology is here and exists today. As good as AI is at this very moment, it's the worst it will ever be. With that said, I'm doubling the pay for my entire team. For AI, there are lots of different estimations. I've seen estimations of 28% growth rate in AI for the next 10 years. I've seen 42%. Bloomberg said the highest one was 42% compounded annual growth rate in AI for the next 10 years. Look at this growth. This is generative AI revenue, and generative AI is a percentage of technology spend. As you can see, both are skyrocketing. Now, obviously, the total spend has grown a lot faster than this, but it just goes to show you that technology spend is going to keep building on itself. AI can make companies more nimble, can make them move quicker, can make them work 24/7 instead of just part of the day. These are just scratching the surface of what AI can do. Is it scary to think about what AI can actually do on the negative side? Absolutely. Recently, I heard of a story of a friend of mine who one of their vendors had the CFO call requesting early payment on $500,000 of invoices. The voice was all authenticated, etc. But guess what? It was completely generated by AI. That was $500,000 lost to that business, all because of artificial intelligence. So there will always be downsides to every single thing we invent. The question is the upside going to be way better for society? And my guess is, for artificial intelligence, the answer is yes to that. Now, PricewaterhouseCoopers, they think that in the year 2030, the greatest impact will be on China with a 26% boost to GDP. With that 26% boost to GDP in 2030 for China, North America will have a 14.5% boost. Total equivalent of $10.7 trillion, accounting for almost 70% of the global economic impact. So guys, China, North America, great beneficiaries, but let's not forget everybody else. A rising tide raises all ships. But I want to remind everybody, just because AI is going to have a great impact does not mean that you should invest blindly in artificial intelligence. Just think about all the past inventions out there. If you even think to tell me that cars didn't change the world? Come on, give me a break. But guess what, guys? Here is a list of every defunct car company since the beginning of car companies. A's, B's, C's, D's, E, F. Do you get my point here? All of these car companies, most of them started, look at these dates, by the way. 1905, 1906, 1920, 1902, 1917, 1940, all these lists right here. Look at how many are before 1950. Now, you might sit there and say, well, yeah, but that's the point. When something new comes out, everybody rushes to enter. There's an oversaturation, and then the real companies stay out there. Ford, GM, and Chrysler are the ones that have been around for the longest amount of time, and I believe Ford's the only one that had never entered bankruptcy. That might need to be verified, but that's what I'm saying here, guys. Just because there's a lot of potential in a market does not mean that every company that enters it will be awesome. So when you get excited about some sort of thing like artificial intelligence or cars or airplanes or internet, just remember the vast majority will fail. Look at airlines. This is the list of airlines that no longer exist by year: 2023, 22, 21, 2018. And guess what? It goes only back until you're telling me from 1989 to 2001, these are the only airlines that went out of business, and only one went out of business between 79 and 89? No, I don't think so. We even started back from the early part of the century. All of these companies have all gone under in a market and in sector that had amazing growth and still has amazing growth potential from here on out. Imagine the world that still hasn't flown on a plane. Imagine the number of people in the world who still own a car. These have amazing possibilities for the future, but they're still tough businesses. So please don't fall for that same trap with artificial intelligence. Now, I want you to remember that as we go forward, look at the tech bubble, because it was so recently, 25 years ago. A company like Microsoft saw a drop of 80% in their stock price. Look at a company like Apple. Apple was almost bankrupt in the late 90s. Microsoft actually came in and helped save them. And these are two of the biggest companies in the world right now. Google was started in the late 90s. In 1997 or 1998, Google was started. These opportunities are going to be there. There are probably amazing artificial intelligence companies that we don't even know about today that are going to dominate the world in the future. And that's exciting. But is it worth investing in everything and seeing the vast majority of your investment go to zero? I don't know. When I sit here and talk about these things in our community, I sit here and talk about this in the software, there's a process we're trying to teach here. That process is to sit there and say every investment is the present value of all your future cash flows. The question is, can you determine those cash flows reasonably? Now, with artificial intelligence, I don't know. Like I said, I've seen 25%, I've seen 42% in terms of growth rate for artificial intelligence over the next 10 years. Guys, on a 10-year basis, those are huge differences. Huge differences. It's not to be taken lightly. Now, guys, there's a lot of great conversations to have out there about artificial intelligence. And I strongly encourage you, if you're part of our community, to go into our community chat and have a specific conversation in the artificial intelligence chat or the technology chat room about these things, because there are going to be amazing opportunities going forward. Now, if you're not part of the community and you've been to our website, though, you probably have noticed that we only have a limited number of daily spots, and that's absolutely on purpose. The reason for that is the software as it exists today has all of these tools that help you with retirement, stocks, and real estate. But we're growing. We have 4 YouTube channels now. We're probably going to have 4 or 5 more. And behind the scenes, it's absolutely imperative that we make some big changes that we're working on today to expand. All of these offers that I'm talking about here, they're going to be split away into individual offers. So the offer of everything included is going away very soon. Now, you may remember, if you've watched this from the beginning, I built the software for myself in an Excel sheet. And the comments we got were, how do I get that? How do I get that? How do I get that? And I was like, well, listen, you can't get it. It's part of a data feed that's expensive. But then obviously one day I hit my head and realized, okay, I got to make this for everybody. So I made it so that everybody else can make the great decisions that I'm making, that I use this software for every single day. But the channel's grown a ton. The community's grown a ton. So it's less about me and more about how I can better serve you and the other community members. Now, the good news is these changes haven't been made yet. So if you join today, you'll be grandfathered in for life with all the data on all these tools and you'll be locked into your pricing tier forever. You'll get all of it and stay in your pricing tier forever. This is the best deal we've ever offered. So if you really are serious about making better financial decisions, probably increasing your returns, but more importantly, sleeping better at night, click on the link in the description below. Get access to our software. We have a great 7-day, $7 trial. Do that before we make these changes, and I'm very, very confident it'll be the best decision you made all year. Of course, the question is, how do I plan to profit from AI? Guys, I don't try to pretend like I know what's going to be the next big thing. I like to wait for all the, what I consider to be the dumb money to rush to one investment and let all the ones that are crap go to the side. Remember electric vehicles? Remember how everybody thought I was so negative about them? They said, that's the future. This was only 3 years ago. And I said, ignore. How many of those companies are doing well today? Tesla isn't even at its all-time highs. It is still 40, and at one point it was 75% below its all-time high and has not reached the all-time high it hit almost 3 years ago. That's my plan. My plan is to wait because eventually the AI boom will lose its luster and there'll still be major profit in those companies, but people won't pay the premium for it. So I'll wait till it's died down a little bit. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion. That's the plan that makes the most sense to me. But if you're the kind of person who has the ability to see in the future and say, I think I can see the best companies out of this, more power to you. But for me, I like to see which ones fall to the wayside, which ones go under, and which ones start to rise to the top. What are the good ones? The cream will rise to the top. Those are the ones I want to get when the public perception on AI has changed, much like the public perception on EV and every other boom we've had in the past. Now, guys, obviously buying individual companies is a lot harder than buying an ETF. So another plan that I even will do was I will wait until QQQ and the NASDAQ is selling for much lower valuation numbers and start dollar costing in there. Why? Because it's much easier to buy an ETF and let the natural companies go in and out. Now, are you going to make the 700, 800, 900% profit in 1 year? No. But if you look at history and you look at buying QQQ when valuations are low, it can far outpace the S&P 500 returns. You just got to be a little patient and also diligent. Because remember, the 100 companies in the NASDAQ that are top ones probably aren't going away when the valuations drop significantly and price drops significantly. I want you to be the kind of person who doesn't have the fear, can sit there and look at an ETF and say, this market's not going away. Let me buy the top 100 companies at once, and overall, I'll probably do better than the market. So guys, if you want to watch the video on my plan to profit from the upcoming recession, watch this next video. I'll see you in the community. Thank you for your time.